Horse players, past performances of the Los Alamitos Nighttime Quarter and Thoroughbred races are now featured nightly in all print PM editions of the Daily Racing Form. You can now find the Los Alamitos PPs nationwide. Check out the past performances in the East, South, Midwest, Pacific Northwest, and even Canada PM editions. That's expanded national print coverage of Los Alamitos in the Daily Racing Form. Playing the Los Alamitos races with past performances in hand has never been easier. For more, follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Los Al Racing.
Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off a 50-cent late pick 5 at Del Mar on Pacific Classic Saturday with the Grade 2 Del Mar Handicap. We're going 11 furlongs on the turf. You can play the race in the card with the DRF Bets account. You know the drill. Easy sign up. DRF.com/bet. You get a $100 deposit match. Let's meet the field for the Del Mar Handicap. We are going 3 turns, and we've got a morning line favorite shipping in from the Midwest for Arnaud de la Cour. This is the 6th, the Great Day. First off, a long layoff in that Prince George City at Laurel I thought was a pretty good effort. In behind horses most of the stretch. I didn't think the trip really worked out for the Great Day. Last time out in the Arlington Handicap, got wired by Bandua, who's in career form. Came back to run third in the Arlington Million with a 101 Buyer's speed figure. Now they're going to stretch this horse way out. The horse has run well at 1.25 miles overseas. Are you worried about the 1 3/8? And are you worried about his overall quality as the favorite?
I'm more worried about the second of those than the first. I think the distance should be okay for this horse, but I'm just sort of struggling to figure out why this horse would be the favorite on the morning line. Or 2 races since he's gotten over here. I think he's run fine both times. Maybe he'll take a step forward in here. I realize that the form in Argentina can be a little tough to decipher, but we do have some clues. He was running against Village King over there and Crack Speed, 2 horses we've seen in North America. Neither one of them turned out to be very good. I don't know. Maybe this horse will win. I'm sure he'll run the best that he can, but I wouldn't bet this horse as the favorite.
Second choice on the morning line is the number 5. This is United. And United won in very workmanlike fashion last time out. But you know something? I'm not going to hold it against him because I think 1 1/8 is simply too short for him. And Flavien Prat realized that. He was kind of going in one gear on the turn. He waited in the stretch, got into him, and he just grinded that field down. He's shown that he can run better at longer distances. His Whittingham was a good performance. And I think he's got the upside to take a step forward. He's a must-use for me in any kind of multi.
I think the upside is what you would really like about him. I thought his Whittingham was fine. I didn't think he was really any match for Marquis Water that day, but I thought he ran fine, and maybe he just ran sort of the same level last time. He stretches back out in distance. Maybe that works for him, but he's just another horse in your Dan who is a pretty short price on the morning line, and I just don't see any reason to take too short a price on this horse.
The argument can be made that the best horse on his best day is the number 7, It's in the Post. Yeah. He's earned $1.2 million in his career. He's won 10 times. He was second in this race in 2017. On his best day, he's better than these horses. Yep. The question is he in that form as a 7-year-old? And my answer is the jury's still out, because the Wise Dan off the layoff I thought was just a prep going 1 1/16. Right. He was dead on the board. He didn't fire. They ran him on the dirt, interestingly enough, last time out, and he wasn't embarrassed by a good dirt horse in Campaign. True. So something tells me he's sneaking back into form, and I wouldn't fall asleep on It's in the Post if he goes off at 6-8 to 1.
I feel the same way about him. I was sort of confused when they switched him over to dirt last time, but as it turns out, he actually ran pretty well in that race. And, maybe that's just the kind of thing that could shake this horse up because, he didn't run well off the layoff in the Wise Dan, whether you want to give him the benefit of the doubt or not. And he didn't run well in his final 2 starts last year before enduring a long layoff. So I feel like his form was really in question. He did seem to show some life last time. I agree with you. He's got the best back races in here. This horse, no matter what price he goes off at, he's the horse to beat in this race because he's just simply the best horse.
Let's talk about the pace in this race. We'll throw up the Timeform U.S. pace projector. Ritzy AP we'll get to in a minute out there on the lead. But we know that Acclimate is fast, and he tried to rate Acclimate last time out in the Cal Dreaming at a distance that's just a little too short. And before the race, Phil D'Amato said he was using that race as a prep for this one. He realizes that Acclimate's game is going long. They stretched him out to 1 1/8. He became a new horse. They ran him in the San Juan Capistrano. He became a new horse. Last time out, take that race with a couple of grains of salt. The issue is whether he can deal with Ritzy AP. Personally, I think he's faster.
No, I think he's faster too. I think he will make the lead in this race, and we'll just see if it's just a matter of distance for him, and he's just going to rebound to one of his best races. He's dangerous speed in this race, but I kind of want him to prove it against horses like this.
As for Ritzy AP, he made the pace in the Eddie Reed last time out. It was a clever decision by Martin Garcia. He tried to bottom him out with about 3.5 furlongs left to go, and I thought that was the right move in a race full of stayers. Marquis Water probably wants more than 9 furlongs. I think that's what was on Garcia's mind. Ritzy AP did his best. He took him down to inside the 8th pole. He got tired. Dan Blacker's done a nice job with this horse. But if he's on the lead facing pressure from Acclimate, I think he's in trouble. Maybe they sit this time.
Yeah, that was a really good spot for them and a good plan, too, last time in a grade 2. For them to get a graded stakes placing, they got it. He didn't have to go fast early, and then he just started picking up the tempo as they went into the far turn. He did his best, but he was only 3rd best.
Blended Citizen, best known for winning the Jeff Ruby Stakes on synthetic, the Peter Pan on dirt, and he's okay on turf. I just wonder if he's as good on the dirt. They're stretching him all the way out here in his 3rd start of the form cycle for Doug O'Neill. And I think you can make the case if you look at the Timeform US pace ratings for the last couple of races. Maybe he was compromised by slow splits in both of those races. The race before that was down the hill. The race before that was last year. Maybe he's a little dirtied up.
Yeah, maybe he is a little dirtied up. I do think the distance could be okay for him. I just wonder if he's good enough to win a race like this on the turf. I haven't really seen it, but you know what? He's so lightly raced, and this is sort of a new surface for him, so maybe he'll take a step forward.
Arizona Moon is listed 3rd on the Timeform US pace projector. He's a nice horse based in Arizona. This looks way too tough.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 2 Del Mar Handicap. I'm just stabbing with Oscar Dominguez. I've always been a fan of his. He seems like an unlikely winner to me. He's 12-1 on the morning line. I think he'll be more like 20 come post time. Baltus claimed him for 40. I like the way he just ran them over 2 starts back, going 1 1/8. And last time out in the San Juan Capistrano, Acclimate wired him. He came with a decent run, going 14 furlongs. He's my top pick of my top 4 picks because he's the best value, but I'd use my top 4 picks in equal weight in the multis. I went 1, 6, 5, 4. Marquis Water is a very dangerous contender in this race, the number 4, because like United, last time out in the Eddie Reed, he just got going too late. He needs this distance.
Yeah, I think he just needs more ground. That race, right when he started to pick up his run around the final turn,
they got away from him.
They just picked up in front of him, and he just really couldn't get into it. He was closing way too late in there and was never a real threat, but his race 2 back in the waiting time I thought was very good at 1.25 miles. I think the more ground, the better for him. He's going to be off the pace in here, but I feel like they could go a legit clip in front of him, and I just feel like he's going to be closing at the end of this race.
And he really classes up with these horses in a division where they kind of beat each other. Give me numbers.
I went 4 and 7 as my main 2. I made United my 3rd pick.
I'm going to go with Oscar Dominguez, but I'm using the 6, 5, and 4 as well in my multiple race wagers. Nice way to kick off a 50-cent late pick 5 at beautiful Del Mar on Pacific Classic Saturday. You can get involved with that DRF Bets account and that $100 deposit match. Approximate post time for the Del Mar Handicap, 5 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.